I mean, if Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons.
Hey, Bishop Jakes, how are you?
What's up, man?
Man, it's so good to see you.
It's better to see you. How you doing?
All the champagne was spiked, son. Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the out. I don't drink, so I was playing that I don't drink. I smoke, like I smoke and I had my own weed, but like everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against cheeks. I heard struggling to take dick. I heard being like, yeah, daddy. Like when he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling. Like, yeah, I kept the phone and I recorded all this because I was like, this Diddy rich. So I'm finna put the squeeze on and get me.
Y'all, our girl Monique, the fierce and fearless comedian and actress, has been sitting on some jaw-dropping evidence for quite some time, and now it's finally out in the open for the world to hear. And trust me, you won't believe your ears. Apparently, Monique just dropped an incriminating audio recording that's causing waves across the industry. This isn't just any old clip. It features none other than Diddy and the renowned pastor T.D. Jakes in a very compromising and intimate situation. Yes, you heard that right. The bombshell audio reveals them in a scandalous act that's bound to shake up their worlds and ours. But here's where it gets even worse. T.D. Jakes was apparently desperate to keep this explosive secret under wraps. Reports say he pulled out all the stops, threatening and blackmailing Monique to prevent her from leaking the audio. He must have known that if this got out, it would be a disaster for his image and career. Yet despite all the pressure and intimidation, Monique stood her ground. Monique has always been one to speak her truth, no matter the cost. Recently, she's been on a mission to expose the dark and hidden sides of the entertainment industry. She's not sparing anyone, no matter how powerful they are. Her courage to bring these truths to light is not only commendable, but downright revolutionary. In a world where secrets can destroy lives and careers, Monique is tearing down the walls of silence. She's exposing everyone and everything, and she wasn't about to let T.D. Jakes slip through the cracks. With this latest revelation, she's making it clear that no one is above accountability, and the fallout is going to be something to watch. Monique's journey of revelation began with a bang as she turned her sights on some of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry. First on her list were none other than Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. Monique publicly accused them of blackballing her in Hollywood after her Oscar win for Precious, claiming they tried to silence her and tarnish her reputation. Her bold accusations and unwavering stance sent shockwaves through the industry, sparking debates about power dynamics, fairness, and the treatment of talent in Hollywood. But Monique didn't stop there. Her crusade for truth and transparency took a sharp turn as she shifted her focus to Sean Diddy Combs, known for his substantial influence in the music and entertainment world. She began unveiling the behind-the-scenes actions and shady dealings, bringing to light the hidden realities of working with the mogul. The revelations about Diddy added another layer to her campaign, showing her determination to expose the powerful and protect the underdogs. Now, it's T.D. Jakes' turn under Monique's relentless scrutiny. The renowned pastor, admired by many for his spiritual leadership, found himself in Monique's crosshairs with the release of the incriminating audio. As she exposes each figure one by one, it becomes clear that Monique is on a mission to hold everyone accountable, no matter their stature or influence. And we knew something like this was going to come out sooner or later because many people before her have also spoken up about the pastor and his connection with Puff.
And I'm gonna lay my hands on you, Bishop. And he said, and then the is on the that. He's doing all of this, right? And then there's a woman on the dais.
A lawsuit has been filed against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, accusing him of some seriously heavy stuff: harassment, illegal drug activity, and even trafficking. But here's where things get really interesting. The lawsuit also mentions Bishop T.D. Jakes. Apparently, Diddy was hoping that the high-profile pastor could help clean up his image amidst all the chaos. The plaintiff in this explosive case is Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a music producer who claims to have some pretty damning evidence against Combs. We're talking photos and other proof that allegedly captured Diddy's shady activities. This lawsuit is painting a very dark picture of the music icon, and it's dragging a lot of big names into the spotlight. Now, let's talk about Bishop T.D. Jakes. He's not a defender defendant in the lawsuit, but his name coming up in this context is definitely raising eyebrows. Jakes, who's a well-known megachurch pastor based in Dallas, seems to have been seen by Diddy as a potential ally to help him polish his tarnished reputation. It's wild to think about, considering Jakes' prominent position in the religious community. And if you thought that was enough drama, the lawsuit doesn't stop there. It also names several record labels and a few surprising individuals, including actor Cuba Gooding Jr., Diddy's son Justin Dior Combs, and his chief of staff Christina Coram. This web of accusations and connections is intricate and incredibly shocking. In the middle of all these allegations, Jakes' name pops up just once, but it's quite significant. The suit mentions that Jones has what she calls irrefutable evidence of Combs' shady plans. Apparently, Combs was trying to use his connection with Bishop T.D. Jakes to smooth over the negative impact on his public image from another lawsuit filed by Cassie Ventura. Ventura, who is an R&B singer, has accused Combs of some horrifying things, including rape and physical abuse during their relationship. This lawsuit against Combs is just one of several that have come up recently. And if that wasn't enough, around the same time, the news was buzzing with reports of federal agents raiding Combs' properties. They ended up seizing guns and other items, which just adds another layer of drama to the whole situation. So even though Jakes is only mentioned once in this lengthy suit, his name being dragged into this high-profile mess speaks volumes about the lengths Combs allegedly went to try to salvage his reputation. The suit states, as a heterosexual Christian man, Mr. Jones was uncomfortable with Mr. Combs' advances and expressed his discomfort to Mr. Combs' chief of staff, defendant Christina Coram. This isn't just about unwanted advances, though. Jones is also claiming that Combs forced him into some pretty extreme situations, like soliciting female workers and having with them at Combs' Miami home. Jones says that all this caused him significant physical, financial, and emotional harm. Because of this, he's seeking monetary and punitive damages, along with other forms of relief. On the flip side, Combs' lawyer, Aaron Dyer, has been vocal about Combs' innocence. Dyer has made it clear that Combs is going to fight every day to clear his name. So, while Jones is detailing some serious allegations and seeking justice, Combs' camp is gearing up for a tough legal battle. So, late in 2023, there was quite a stir when unverified allegations of misconduct at parties hosted by Combs started dragging Bishop T.D. Jakes into the spotlight. This all kicked off in December when a TikTok and YouTube video popped up claiming that Jakes had engaged in gay at Combs parties. Jakes didn't address these rumors head-on, but during his Christmas Eve sermon, he made a pointed remark. "I will not use this sacred day and this sacred pulpit to address a lie when I have a chance to preach a truth." This was his way of shutting down the rumors without giving them any more oxygen. Fast forward a bit, and now Jakes' name is mentioned again in the latest lawsuit involving Combs. This time, representatives from Jakes' ministry and businesses have chosen to stay quiet about this latest connection. However, they've made it clear before that these claims are completely false. Adding to the mix, Derek Williams, the executive vice president of TD Jakes Entertainment, chimed in with a statement about Jakes' relationship with Combs. He highlighted that Jakes and Combs go way back, with Combs being the founder of Revolt Media and TV, a black-owned media company. In 2021, Revolt announced it would feature a sermon series hosted by Jakes, showing the professional ties between the two. Williams also mentioned that he and Jakes had even stopped by a birthday celebration for Combs. This was a casual, friendly drop-in that seemed pretty harmless at the time. Interestingly, Combs has since resigned as chair of Revolt, adding another twist to the story. So while Jakes is once again caught up in the whirlwind of controversy surrounding Combs, his team is standing firm against the allegations. But we all know that all they are doing is damage control. We both greeted the family. Bishop Jakes recorded a brief celebratory birthday video and left immediately to take our other scheduled meetings, Williams said. Any accusation to the contrary is wholly unsubstantiated, unverified, and false. The 66-year-old pastor, Bishop T.D. Jakes, found himself in the spotlight during a weekend sermon. The congregation was all ears, but little did they know what was about to unfold. As Jakes faced those accusations head-on, the atmosphere in the room shifted from anticipation to shock. In a move that caught everyone off guard, Jakes not only denied the allegations, but inadvertently let slip something far more intriguing. Cue the gasps and wide eyes from the crowd. Suddenly, there was a whole new layer to this already spicy story. What sinister mysteries lurked behind closed doors at Diddy's exclusive events? And how on earth did Bishop Jakes get mixed up in this unexpected dispute? It was a tale that begged to be unraveled. But even though they are trying their best to hide what had been going on, Monique isn't budging. In fact, she's targeting and exposing him in her comedy shows. Recently, he slipped during a sermon and said some pretty weird things.
I would have been swallowed up? Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you were at your wit's end?
Now, why would a religious man talk about swallowing in the middle of a sermon? Monique, the queen of unfiltered comedy, recently unleashed her sharp wit on none other than Bishop T.D. Jakes. It all went down during a fiery stand-up show in Louisville, KY on April 12th, where Monique took aim at Jakes' memorable sermon from December. Now, if you know anything about Monique, you know she doesn't do subtle. So, when she got wind of Jakes' metaphorical come-out-of-the-closet sermon, she saw it as open season for her brand of no-holds-barred commentary. And let's just say, she didn't hold back. In true Monique fashion, she served up a punchline that left the audience gasping for air. With a mischievous glint in her eye, she quipped, "How the F is this N talking about D on the pulpit?" I'm like, yes, N. I've swallowed, have you? Yep, you heard that right. And people are with her on this one. One fan wrote, "T.D. Jakes was hiding in plain sight this whole time." You know, there was a lot of chatter going around about Bishop T.D. Jakes and his unlikely hangouts with Diddy at those wild parties. People couldn't help but wonder, why would a pastor like Jakes want to cozy up with the crowd known for their over-the-top shindigs, especially when there were rumors flying about all sorts of shady stuff going down? Some folks started speculating that maybe Jakes had more than just a passing curiosity about what went on at these swanky affairs. They were throwing around ideas that maybe he was somehow involved, or at least turning a blind eye to the not-so-savory activities happening under Diddy's roof. You can imagine how these suspicions stirred up a whole pot of drama. Suddenly, Jakes was getting side-eyed by some folks, and his reputation took a hit. It was a tough spot to be in, especially for someone known for their strong moral compass. But through it all, Jakes stuck to his guns, insisting he had nothing to do with any of the mess. He was unwavering in his faith and principles, even when the rumors were flying fast and furious. It wasn't just Bishop T.D. Jakes seeking something from the friendship. It turns out Puffy had his own motives too. You see, rubbing shoulders with a bishop like Jakes wasn't just about friendly camaraderie for Puffy. It was a savvy move to boost his image. In the glitzy world of entertainment and high society, perception is everything. And what better way to enhance your reputation than by cozying up to a respected religious figure like Bishop Jakes? For Puffy, being seen in the company of a bishop lent him an air of credibility and respectability that money simply couldn't buy. Sure, Puffy was already a big name in the music and entertainment industry, but there's always room to climb higher on the social ladder. And what better way to elevate his status than by aligning himself with someone as esteemed as Bishop Jakes? So, while their friendship may have seemed unlikely on the surface, it actually made perfect sense in the context of their respective worlds. For Puffy, hanging out with Bishop Jakes wasn't just about personal connections. It was a strategic move to bolster his image and solidify his place among Hollywood's elite. Plus, as the allegations and whispers about the shady happenings at Diddy's parties continued to swirl, both Diddy and Bishop T.D. Jakes found themselves in a precarious position. It was like a high-stakes game of reputation roulette, and they were both desperately trying to come out on top. But here's where things get really interesting. Some astute observers started connecting the dots and came up with a theory that sent shockwaves through the gossip grapevine. They suggested that Bishop Jakes wasn't just hanging out with Puffy to boost his buddy's image. Oh no, there was a much deeper motive at play. According to this theory, Bishop Jakes may have had a vested interest in clearing Diddy's name too. After all, if Diddy's reputation took a nosedive, it could potentially tarnish the bishop's own image by association. So, by standing by Puffy's side, Jakes could be seen as actively working to protect not just Puffy, but himself as well. But some whispered that Jakes couldn't just walk away from his friendship with Puffy, even if he wanted to. Why? Well, the rumor mill was churning with speculation that Puffy might just hold some evidence that could incriminate the bishop in the very scandal they were trying to distance themselves from. The bishop is clearly caught between a rock and a hard place, unable to extricate himself from a friendship that might be more trouble than it's worth. And all the while, the whispers and speculation only added more fuel to the fire, leaving everyone wondering just what secrets might be lurking behind the closed doors of those elite parties. And you know, in the world of the rich and famous, nothing is ever quite what it seems. Well, it turns out that Diddy might have had a little side hobby that nobody knew about, recording everything that went down at his parties. Yeah, you heard that right. According to the lawsuits swirling around, there's some pretty compelling evidence that Diddy was playing director behind the scenes, capturing all the scandalous shenanigans that unfolded at his lavish gatherings. And if that doesn't send a shiver down your spine, I don't know what will. Now here's where things take a turn into the realm of pure speculation, but bear with me because it's too intriguing to ignore. If Diddy was indeed the mastermind behind these covert recordings, it stands to reason that he might have ended up with some seriously incriminating material on his hands. Think about it. If you're hosting parties that are notorious for pushing the boundaries, chances are there's some pretty compromising stuff happening filming on those tapes, and if Diddy had dirt on everyone who walked through his doors, well, let's just say he'd be holding all the cards. Now here's where Bishop T.D. Jakes comes into the picture. If he was a regular fixture at these parties, as the rumors suggest, then it's not too far-fetched to imagine that he might have ended up on one of those tapes himself. And if Diddy had something on the Bishop, well, you can bet your bottom dollar that would give him some serious leverage. It's a scandalous thought, to be sure, but in the world of the rich and powerful, anything is possible. And as the lawsuits continue to unfold and more details come to light, it seems like we're only scratching the surface of what really went down behind the closed doors of Diddy's exclusive parties. Now here's where things start to get corroborated, adding some serious weight to the claims being made. You see, Monique's story isn't just a one-off. It's backed up by someone who was right in the thick of it all. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard. Gene Deal isn't someone you'd brush off lightly. He's been around the block, seen it all, and isn't afraid to speak his mind. And when he started talking about Bishop T.D. Jakes showing up at Diddy's parties, well, let's just say it raised more than a few eyebrows. According to Gene, he saw the Bishop with his own two eyes, mingling with the A-list crowd at Diddy's shindigs. And if that's not enough to make you sit up and take notice, Gene also shared details that lined up perfectly with Monique's account. Now, when you've got two separate people from different walks of life telling the same story with uncanny precision, it's hard to write it off as mere coincidence. Monique and Gene's testimonies paint a remarkably consistent picture of Bishop Jakes' involvement in Diddy's inner circle, lending even more credibility to the claims being made. It's the kind of validation that's hard to ignore, and it leaves us with more questions than answers. How deep does this rabbit hole go, and what other surprises are waiting to be unearthed as the lawsuits unfold? One thing's for sure, Monique's story isn't standing alone anymore. With Gene Deal stepping forward to add his voice to the chorus, it's becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss these allegations as baseless rumors. And as the truth continues to come to light, we may find ourselves confronting some uncomfortable realities about the world of the rich, the powerful, and the secrets they keep hidden away. Now, this is where things take a serious turn. You see, when Bishop T.D. Jakes caught wind of Monique's allegations, he didn't just sit back and let it slide. Oh no, he went on the offensive, reportedly threatening Monique with all sorts of repercussions if she dared to expose him any further. But here's the thing about Monique, she's not one to back down from a fight, especially when she believes she's in the right. So when the Bishop came knocking with his threats, she didn't bat an eyelash. She's faced down bigger names than him in the past after all, including the likes of Oprah and Perry.
Listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film, because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million.
Yep, you heard that right. Monique isn't afraid to take on the heavyweights of the industry, and she's got the track record to prove it. When she believes in something, she'll stop at nothing to make her voice heard, no matter who stands in her way. So when Bishop Jakes thought he could scare her into silence, he had another thing coming. Monique isn't in the business of backing down, especially when there's truth to be told. And as the lawsuits continue to unfold and more details come to light, you can bet she'll be right there in the thick of it all, fighting tooth and nail to expose the truth, no matter who tries to stand in her way. So, what do you think? Why was T.D. Jakes at these parties? And now that Monique has leaked his audio, what's gonna happen? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.